I really feel sorry for some of you guys when you come and tell me that, sir, I'm getting low scores in listening, low scores in writing, low scores in speaking, without realizing the true potential of only one factor, which is the listening skills. I have seen and I can prove it to you that this is one of the most important aspect of the PT exam, and it is directly interconnected to all the other modules. Hey everyone, this is Anurag here from Edutrainex. I hope you all are doing well. The truth behind your success in the PT exam, one of the instruments is PT listening. And in order to do well, not only in the listening, but speaking and writing, you need to build your listening skills. I will show you with evidence and the proportion of how much of importance it is to your exam. I will also highlight the problems in you, where you are lacking. And not only that, I'll give you the steps as well. How you can improve those problems and then overcome to succeed in the PT exam. Don't go with the filmy dialogues where, like Shah Rukh Khan says, जब किसी चीज को चाहो तो पूरी कायनात तुम्हारे साथ हो जाती है. All that crap, filmy materials outside reality. So, no magic wands, no filmy dialogues, sheer techniques. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and watch this video right till the end. Let's start cracking straight away. First things first. What do you know about listening? What is the role of listening in the PT exam? See it on the screen. 11 out of 20 modules for the PT academic exam contribute or is related to listening. 11 out of 20. 8 from the listening and 3 from the speaking module. I'll show you the breakdown shortly. But this is what it is. More than 50% of your exam is related to listening. It's not like the IELTS exam, not like any other English exam. PT exam is a very integrated exam, which is everything is interconnected. And especially listening is the backbone behind it. You see one of the results of the experiments, where one of the students only took the speaking module and see how much it is also contributing to your listening. So, if you don't do well in your speaking module, which is if you're not hearing the words properly for retell lecture or repeat sentence, that means it will also cause a drastic decrease in your listening scores. See how much it is. Roughly 40% of your score from the listening module is coming from your speaking. And then if you don't do well in your listening module, then you can forget about this line going across right till the end, which is the writing module. If you guys still don't know, a writing module, apart from summarize written text and the essay modules, only 2 from the writing, there are 3 modules from the listening section which contribute heavily to your writing scores. So as I said before, everything is interconnected, and this is the importance of the listening in your PT exam. Even for the PT core, out of the 19 modules, 11 contribute or are connected with your listening skills. So again, more than 50% of your exam, whether it's academic or core, no matter what, you need to perfect this technique. And believe me, if you do it once, if you improve your listening skills, you will see your scores increasing in all the areas. We have seen it with the students, people who have come from very remote backgrounds of not at all habitual in listening to any listening. Forget about the native English audios. And just by training them with specific language or listening skills, they were able to improve a lot. Okay, so that's the same thing I'm going to share with you, the proven and the working techniques. Let's understand the modules first. As I said, 8 listening modules from the PT academic exam and 3 speaking modules. What are they? All the listening modules, right from the summarize spoken text till right from dictation is related to your listening abilities. And also, as I said before, summarize spoken text, write from dictation, listening fill in the blanks contribute heavily to your writing. So those 3 modules, I will show it to you in the end. We'll do some examples as well. And before that, we'll talk about how to improve your skills. What are the 3 speaking modules? They are retell lecture, repeat sentence, one of the most important. Answer short question is also related to your listening. Not so much weightage for answer short question, but still, if you count the number, it is still there. So 11 out of 20 modules are related to your listening, and believe me, they are all interconnected. Now I'll show you the interconnection between them. So the real reason of failure in the PT exam is lack of understanding of the PT exam. Okay, You think I just need to focus on these questions for writing, these questions for reading, these questions for speaking and for listening, blah, blah, blah. So what you are failing to recognize that this is an integrated exam. Everything is connected together, and this is how the connection looks. From the speaking, if you don't listen properly, the read, lecture and repeat sentence, it will cause harm to your listening scores. Again, from the listening module, if you don't do properly the SST, FIB and write from dictation, then it will definitely cause harm to your writing scores. So people who think I'm lacking in the writing, you need to check on your listening first. Are you doing the listening properly? Are you able to understand the words? So there are two types of people. First people, they listen to the audio and they are trying to understand what is spoken, the words. And the second type of people are actually not focusing on the words but trying to understand the meaning. Now, where do you want to be? Of course, in the second stage. And that can only happen with training. So, I'll discuss with you what the problems are with you, and then I'll also discuss with you the solution. Make sure you recognize these problems in you. Make sure you are reflecting on yourself, not ignoring the useful advice that I'm sharing here. And these are applicable for many students. Okay, so you are not alone. Number one problem is inability to understand the audios. That is far more common than you can think of. Some people because of not having English educational background, some people where they don't speak English as a normal language in work, occupation throughout the country. So it's not actually your fault where you're lacking, but there are ways to improve it. And I always give this example of driving. In driving, when I drive now, I don't have to think about where to steer, where to apply brakes, where to change the gear. Everything comes automatically from my subconscious mind. But when I was learning for my driving, I had to think about, I have to look everywhere, where I have to turn, where I have to put the brakes, where I have to change the gears. Everything was in my conscious mind. I was consciously thinking about it. Same thing is with your listening skills. I told you about the two stages of listening. We are in the first stage right now, if you are not able to understand the audios. Now you need to be in the second stage where I'm driving confidently from my subconscious mind without actually thinking about applying the brakes, steer the direction, change the gears or transmission, whatever you want to call it. So that is the number one problem. Okay, and the reasons are numerous. You can't change the reasons. Whatever has happened in the past has happened, but you have the ability to change your future. So look always in the forward direction. Don't blame your past for something that has already happened. Second number problem is sometimes you think that these are too fast audios in the exam. I agree, these are some of the audios are moderately faster. Some of the audios in the repeat sentence, some of the audios in the fill in the blanks or highlight incorrect words are moderately faster. Yes, I do agree with that, but it's not that it is not audible. It is still audible and you can only get there with improvement. So if you are facing such issues that it's too fast for me to understand, I can't understand the audios at all, that means you are lacking in your listening skills. It's time to fix that. And the problem number 3 is quite apparent. Okay, as I told you that it is all interconnected. Your speaking will be impacted, your writing scores will be impacted, your listening scores will be impacted. Everything will go to the rock bottom. If you really want to overcome this particular problem, which is all modules, at least these 3 modules related to low scoring, then you must focus on your listening. It's time to improve on that. Okay, so now you know about the problems. Now it's time to look at the solution as well. Okay, so steps to improve, very important, very simple. Okay, there's no rocket science, there's no magic wands. Steps to improve. Step number 1, very basic step. Okay, you have to start listening to the native English speaker audios. What are native English speakers? The people who have been speaking English right from their birth, like the Australians, Americans, British, Canadian, whatever. Okay, not the Germans or the French, they speak different language. So these are called as the native English speakers, and these are the type of audios that you listen in the exam. It could be different accents, British accents, American accents, Australian accents, all will be there. So first things first, what we also do with the students that join us for the live classes, we train them every single day with at least 30 minutes of requirement to listen to different types of pre-recorded audios that we give to them. They listen to it every day. If you are not one of our students, you can still do it by listening to several podcasts that are available on the internet for free, or some documentaries. Your focus should not be to enjoy watching the video, but to listen to the audio and understand everything without the help of subtitles. So initially you will face problems, but continue doing it, continue doing it. That's how the memories and the ideas get transferred from your conscious mind to your subconscious mind, and everything becomes automatic for you. So this is the very, very important step where you can transition from stage 1 to stage 2 of listening. This is where I want you guys to be, in stage 2, where you understand everything without difficulty. Okay, I can understand there could be some words which are very peculiar, or the way they are pronouncing is very dramatic, not very clear. I can understand some words because there is a lack of vocabulary as well. You don't know all the words. So if I say egregious, preposterous, sarcastic, maybe you will not understand what I said, right? Birds roaming around my head, something like that will happen. Because if you don't know the words, no matter how good listener you are, it will not make sense to you. Okay, so that's another area of improvement which we cover and we try to improve in the reading module for you. Okay, so let's focus on the listening part. The second step is to do this repeatedly non-stop. 30 minutes is just a recommended advice, but you can do more. Okay, it really depends on how much motivated you are, how much time you can allocate for improving your listening skills, but absolutely it will reap you a lot of benefits. Okay, so transition from the stage where you understand, trying to understand the words, to where you actually understand all the words by default and then understand the deeper meaning, main ideas, themes. That's where you can solve the listening questions easily. Okay, this is what you want to be. So step number 3, once you start doing this, you will be able to understand the main ideas or the meaning, and then when you start doing the practice questions, continue the practice of listening every day, start solving questions and compare yourself from day 1 to whatever day it is, whether it's 1 week or 15 days, you can compare your own results. And I'm 100% sure that the results that you get after achieving or after putting so much effort will be a dramatic increase. And you will think it's only an increase in the listening scores, but indirectly it will affect all your scores, speaking and writing as well. No matter whatever people tell you, this is the holy grail of how you want to improve it. Now, we wanted to talk to you about also the 3 important modules for the listening section, which also contribute heavily to your writing module. So from speaking, we already know retell lecture, repeat sentence, and retell lecture and repeat sentence are directly related to summarize spoken text and write from dictation. The only difference is one place you speak, the other place you write. Writing is more tricky, so I'll cover the writing part here. Summarize spoken text. How much point it contributes? See here the breakdown. 10 points to your listening, 10 points to your writing. And what happens in the previous days, people used to use templates. The templates with only one words here and there, and you used to get marks. Okay, those days are over. Those days have completely stopped because the PTE AI was upgraded and it is kept on being upgraded. Okay, so being upgraded means that you can stop using the tricks or the jugaad techniques which you used to use before and follow the techniques. After all, this is an English exam, right? If you are trying to achieve competent, superior, proficient, whatever English levels, okay, these are translated into the score that you say 60, 65, 79. These are the levels of English. तो थोड़ा बहुत तो इंग्लिश लिख के दिखाना पड़ेगा ना भाई, वही फंडा है. तो आपको थोड़ा इंग्लिश here and there you need to apply. Okay, and you see this is a template that we use for 79 plus score target or aspirants. One phrase here, one phrase here, one phrase here, minimum 4 phrases. And there is a combination of extended and short writing. So the other 2 sentences, you can use keywords, especially collocating keywords you can use together. And then wherever I say phrases, you write at least 5 to 6 words. Don't just make it 2 words as a phrase or 3 words as a phrase, because that's not what the Pearson or the PT CAT engine likes. They like actually the phrases which are long enough. So that gives you marks for extended writing as well, but that also gives your weightage, your proficiency in writing. So make sure You follow that. I have separate videos on this particular topic. You can just search on my channel for all template video where we have covered this topic in detail. Now, let's move on to the listening fill in the blanks. This is also one of the challenging tasks for people. And why is it challenging? First of all, the amount of marks it contributes. 10 to 15 marks to your listening and to your writing. Now, the questions and the answers, there are no tricks you can apply here. You only need to write one word, and that too with the correct spelling. So this is where the concept of spelling originates. This is where you need to show the perfection in spelling, and that's why we have dedicated videos only to help you improve your spellings. Right from the 10 ultimate tricks to improve your spelling to the playlist that we have got for every single month for the questions and the words that are getting repeated for listening fill in the blanks and write from dictation. So you do focus on those words and understand the technique so that by the time you have watched 3 to 4 months, in the 4th month, you should be able to guess many of the spellings, even though if you have not heard the words before. So that is the power of repeatedly improving on your techniques. Now, what we'll do is spelling is absolutely a part of it, and that's why I talked to you a little bit about those particular videos. Please do watch them. Now let's do a question here. Most of the words in the example that I've shown here, this is a real exam question by the way, all are simple, but some of the words, the way the native English speaker pronounce may not be very clear. Be very vigilant about this particular word, and you can read a little bit to understand the context, which particular word will make sense. You play the audio now, let's hear it.
The ocean has been getting bluer, according to a study published in the journal Nature. But that's not really good news for the planet. It means that the plants that give the ocean its green tint aren't doing well. Scientists say that's because the ocean has been getting warmer.
So one word was particularly tricky, the first one which I told you about. The other words were quite normal: planet, green, warmer. All these kind of words are very familiar, but what was the first word? It sounded like blur or blower. If I read the whole of the passage, then it will make sense to me. Ocean was getting this, not getting good news for the planet. Ocean's getting green. So if I put blower, it won't make sense. If I put blur, again it won't make sense. The only word that is closest to it in the sound is like bluer, that is related to the color. Now if I see the answers, I see bluer was the sound, and this was an Australian English native speaker's sound. So that's how they pronounce it. So unless you get more and more familiar with the way they pronounce these words, we tend to pronounce, people from India, Indian subcontinent, Asia, we pronounce it as bluer, right? But the way you heard it, how they pronounced was slightly close to blur, blur, blur. That's how they pronounce it. Okay, keep doing the practice of the spellings and the listening, and then you will see drastic improvements. Next one, and the most important one, is write from dictation, which comes right in the end of the exam, and you need to be really motivated till the end of the exam because we need to do well in this question. 30 points for your writing, 30 points for your listening, both are, and that too I have mentioned it as minimum because it depends on the number of words given in the sentence. If it is 10 word, then if you are getting 3 questions, simple maths, 10 into 3, 30 marks minimum. But if some of the questions or the sentences are lengthy, 12 words, 14 words, then every word will get you 1 mark if you spell it correctly and if you write it. So there are many techniques that we use for write from dictation. The first one is writing initials. I'm going to the library after my lunch. If you hear that, then you just type or scribble down in your notepad IAGTLAML. What is that? I am going to the library after my lunch. So you will be able to recall it and also try to understand the audio. What is the meaning of the audio being said? So that is one of the most important thing. You need to transition from just listening to the words and trying to remember it word by word to understand the whole thing in one go. Okay, of course you can break it in phrases. It can help you to remember more. But if you understand it properly, you will be able to recall most of it. And extra word strategy also works. Okay, so this is one task where the tricks are still working. So you can write extra words like prepositions, articles, conjunctions in the end. So if you missed any of them by chance, it will pick it up from the end and it will still give you 1 point. And there is no negative marking for it. So if you write extra words, you're not losing any points. Okay, so that's the trick. It keeps so that's the trick. It's still working and it will keep working for some time until the Pearson decides to change it. But yes, it is working right now. You are free to use it. And also the extra words are used sometimes when you are having confusion in particular word, like it was answer or it was answers. Although grammar can help you to understand and figure it out, but if you're not very strong in grammar, then you can write both answer, answers. So whichever will be correct, it will be picked up and you will be given 1 marks. So if you are confused about the spelling combination, its answer has answer, AR or ER in the end, then you write both the combination. But don't write lot many of them, okay? Try to keep it minimal, okay? Because it's a technology based test. You don't want to write 200 words for a response that is expecting only less than 100 characters. So yeah, don't try to take it to the limits. Let's do one question. Okay, let's listen to the question now.
Statistical results should be expressed in different ways depending on the circumstances.
Let's hear it again.
Statistical results should be expressed in different ways depending on the circumstances.
So what is the audio saying? Statistical results should be expressed in different ways depending on circumstances, right? So I try to understand it. I could have scribbled it down. So the ways that I told you before, you can do the same. I'll show you the answer on the screen and then you'll see statistical result or results should be expressed in different ways depending on the circumstances, because we are using a definite article because circumstances are unique things. Okay, so grammar can definitely help you, but it's all about your listening abilities. So in the end, now you understand what is the importance of listening behind your success in the PT exam. So don't take it lightly, please. As I told you before, we do have specific videos for the spellings. You can see it appearing on either side, the playlist that gives you more focused words related to the exam so that you can improve your English and your spellings on a daily basis. But do remember the techniques that I showed with you for improving your listenings. Note it down or download the slide from the description and then follow it every single day. Okay. If you are really lost, if you don't have any ways to improve, then you can join our course where you will get all the resources directly on your fingertips. Till then, keep watching Edutrainex and I'll soon be back with another super blockbuster informative video on PT topics. Till then, bye. See you soon.